What up, scallywags? Today I'm going to show you these gold Dequeese Aztec artifacts. This is Bissell with the Loot Boys, obviously. Going to be showing you better videos in a second. So it's easy to mix up Mayan, Aztec, and Dequeese artifacts since their stories are so similar, and they take place one after the other. The Mayan Aztec artifacts were first to be sought after by the Spanish by Cortez in 1518 when he heard rumors of a city of gold. Cortez struck it rich in Mexico, where he headed to Montezuma, which is present-day Mexico City. He came in with an army and actually burned the ships when they arrived so nobody could leave once they got there. Heading into the city, there were bad omens for the natives all over. There was actually waves on the lake when there was no wind. A church burned down for no apparent reason, and you could hear women crying in the night. When the conquistadors first arrived, the natives thought they were godlike, and they were seen as part human, part deer because they had actually never even seen a horse before. Once the Aztecs realized they weren't friendly, they planned an attack, but Cortez heard the news and left early. They took as much gold as they could, but a lot of them drowned, being weighed down by the gold. For 2 years, Cortez waits for his revenge. He comes back with 500 men, and they sack the Aztec capital of Vengeance. Natives that survived were enslaved. Newly arrived Spaniards loaded up the ships with all the Aztec gold. Again, that was in 1518 with Cortez in Mexico City. Now moving on to the Incans. The Incan gold came from South America and Peru, which was looted by Francisco Pizzaro in 1532, just a few short years after Cortez. He followed rumors to an empire laden with gold, searching for mysterious people called the Incans. The Incans had built the single largest empire in the world had ever known, with roughly 20 million people and roads supposedly even better than the Romans. Incans are masters at crafting gold and silver into ornate jewelry, but most goes to worshipping their sun god because they believe themselves to be children of the sun. See, here's part of the story most people don't bring up when they are all claiming that the Incans were the victims in this story and they were looted by the conquistadors and the Pizzaro. Incans thought that they were better than anyone else in the world. This gave them the divine right to go out and conquer people who were less than and take their gold. So they were in fact looters themselves who were then looted later by the Spanish. So Pizzaro finally makes it to the main city, which is at the top of a mountain, and the terrain is all jungles, mountains, constantly raining, there's spiders and snakes. It's a rough road. Pizzaro tells the Incans, let's trade for gold, but he told his men previously to have their weapons ready. 168 conquistadors find the Incan king and his 10,000 warriors. The king welcomes them and they spontaneously launch an attack. After 2 hours of fighting, only one Spaniard was injured and they slaughtered 5,000 Indians, one of the most believable fights in history. Then they tell the king to fill a room 22 by 17 by 9 with gold the same size he's holding in the cell, and they won't kill him. The room promises overfilled 20 times over. 11 tons of precious treasure, and the Spanish still aren't satisfied and keep searching for more gold in Cusco and other surrounding areas. After 8 months in captivity in the year 1533, they still killed the king, even with the 20 times over gold. Finally, there's the Dequeese, which is actually the southernmost tip of Mexico, Guatemala, Costa Rica, those areas. And in Central America, wearing gold advertised power through association with God, and ritual significantly religious symbols and elite status. In light of the success going on in Montezuma, present-day Mexico, the Spanish make their way to Central America under Pedro Alvarado in 1523. However, Central America region was nowhere near as rich as Mexico and Colombia and Peru with gold. The main reason for this was because of the geological location. It's a matter of plate tectonics. Most of Central America consists of the Caribbean plate, which is less dense and more gold poor than the most continental tectonic plates, and is also riddled with volcanoes. Generally speaking, magma is a poor source of metals like gold. There was still technically gold in Costa Rica, but most of it wasn't native. It was brought in by trade for pottery, textiles, and agriculture products. The deceptively bountiful gold displayed by the natives that greeted Columbus when they first got there and made Costa Rica the rich coast was by that time largely imported, making the Dequeese gold artifacts crushingly rare. By the end of the 16th century, the native populations exposed to the conquistadors were reduced by 93%, and those native to Costa Rica were gone. So again, just to recap, there was the Mayan Aztec gold, which was by Cortez in Mexico City, Montezuma. There was the Incan Peru gold, which was found by Pizzaro. And then there's the Dequeese gold in Central America, which was Guatemala, Costa Rica, and that was with Alvarado. This is J.R. Bissell with Pirate Gold Coins, Loot Boys. I'm out.